Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Bophelong. My name is Mulemo. Mulemo Khomu looked for an alternative dolls to buy for her daughter to play with, and when she could not find them in the market, she decided to take matters into her own hands and create black dolls that her daughter could identify with. She had no idea though that the world would catch on to her innovation of black dolls. The founder of Ntombenhle dolls tells us more about her product in this insert compiled by our producer Ntombenhle.
Having come back from the festive season, for a lot of parents, buying gifts for their children was not an easy task. For small girls, dolls were the first thing on their minds, but with modern-day parents having liberal minds, getting something that your child can identify with was very important. Mulemo is such a parent who thought through before buying her first daughter her first doll.
When Bophelong was born, and we decided we were going to look for dolls for her. By the time she turned a year and a half or so, I think she was at the appropriate age where she can start playing with dolls or something like that. So looked around at home, couldn't really find something that was attractive, something that was nice that she could play with. There was a doll that was on the market, and it was not the most appealing doll whatsoever. So looked for dolls everywhere. My mom found dolls in Germany, black dolls in Germany. We've got family in the States. They also found dolls for her in the States. But that wasn't enough. I still thought, okay, my kids could get dolls, but what about all other kids, African kids? So I decided to Google some manufacturers, and I found quite a bit in Asia, and narrowed them down and ended up working with one.
Mulemo, when pregnant with her first daughter, Bophelong, knew that she wanted her daughter not to experience any identity issues. This is when she decided to look for toys that resembled black as beautiful.
Flew there, told them what I wanted to do, showed them what I wanted, what I was looking for, even used myself as the model for them to sort of get a sense of what it is that I was trying to achieve. Bought them books, Vanishing Cultures of South Africa by Peter Magubani. Leave them with that to have a look at, to read, and just to really understand what I was trying to do.
Because of lack of resources of finding her a black doll when she was young, Mulemo doesn't remember being bought a doll.
Apparently I did have a doll. I do not know if it was a black doll or a white doll, but apparently I did have a doll. And apparently one day, it could have been in winter or something, we had visited my grandfather and found this. He picked up this doll in the morning. It was cold. He decided he's gonna go warm it up for me. He put it in the oven and it melted. That was the end of my doll.
Mulemo decided to take things further and flew overseas to find a perfect doll for her daughter. After finding the perfect doll and manufacturer, she came up with the name Ntombenhle doll, loosely translated as a beautiful girl.
Why Ntombenhle? Because we are beautiful African kids, African women, African ladies. So hence the name, because I also just wanted the dolls to reflect that beauty in everybody.
She explains the essence for black or other races to play with black dolls, in as much as every girl plays with white dolls.
I think for me it was also just to get our girls to have some sense of identity, somewhere, some sense of belonging, with some have something that they can relate to, a doll that they can relate to or see themselves in. That's why I decided, we're also going to do it, let it have short hair, so that they sort of understand that having the short hair, there's nothing wrong with having short hair. You are just as beautiful with your short hair. You are just as pretty with your short hair. And it's just letting them understand that it is okay, the skin color that you have, it is okay, it is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with it. And they should not have a sense of doubt about who they are or how they look.
Each doll, carefully crafted, represents South African culture and not particularly skin color.
As South Africans are aware, we might not know of our different traditional attires, which I found that a lot of adults also didn't know what their attires more or less look like. I mean, the dolls are not like fully dressed, and it is just to show, it is just to give you an idea of what their traditional attires look like.
Let's take a quick break. Bophelong returns after this.
SABC News. We report, contextualize and present news and current affairs honestly, fairly and fully. We consider it a duty to provide consistent, relevant, useful and top quality information and analysis. Our mission is to provide credible, accurate and interesting news programming, bringing news into everyone's homes in everyone's languages. Thank you, South Africa, for relying on SABC News for quality news output and for making us your #1 source of information. SABC News, Africa's news leader.
Welcome back to the show right here on SABC News. What sets Molemo's creation of black dolls is the tradition attire that embraces our South African heritage. Let's have a look at this.
The frame dolls are for adults who do not maybe have kids. Their kids are all grown up or something, and they just want to have these type of dolls dressed in the traditional outfits. So you can have it framed like this one, and you can decorate with it in your home.
Molemo is the founder of Ntombenhle Dolls. With her concept of selling traditionally clothed dolls booming, she was encouraged to make a range for adults as well.
It really has been amazing. It's been so overwhelming from parents from all walks of life. It's not just African parents that are buying the dolls. It's everybody. I'm getting from South Africans who are living abroad, black, white, Indian. Everybody is buying, and it's also not just limited to the African market. Namibia is calling, they're buying, and we've sort of modified here and there. Australia, it's amazing. It's just everybody has just really taken on to Ntombenhle so well, and it's exciting.
Her brother was surprised to learn about his sister's new life adventure, but immediately got excited when he saw this unique idea turned into business.
I do remember 2005, that's when it started officially. And I received a few dolls when I was still in Limpopo. A few dolls came my way and I was like, what is all this about? And they told me what she was doing, and I was absolutely excited for her. I also helped out with distribution on Limpopo's side. So it was a rather shocker for me, and I didn't know she was doing it in the first place. I would have liked to know that this is coming our way. But now that I'm heavily involved in it, I'm very excited for my sister to see where she's going to go in this next 5 to 10 years, the plans that they have for these dolls. It excites me as well as a student.
There were few minor challenges that Molemo experienced, which she sort of expected.
I started doing this back in 2005, and there isn't doll manufacturers locally. So that is a challenge, because then when I did find, I did the travels. I made the travels to go see who they were, to meet the people, see the manufacturers, get to see what they do, their factories and all of that. But maybe because you do it, I did it from my own pocket. It is a bit challenging. But I mean, once you start seeing the bigger picture, it becomes easier as you start moving.
She got her family involved. Her brother Kagiso, a student, has been learning a lot about the business from his sister since he's doing his business studies. These are some of his responsibilities.
Now I'll have to take them in, have them beaded, have some sort of time, pick them up, bring them back. And once they're here, I need to pull the doll apart again, redress it, re-bead it, package it. And once packaging is done, it's ready to be delivered to the client. And that's primarily my major and bigger role in Ntombenhle, with the Ntombenhle range.
Her two children, who are the base of the phenomenal Ntombenhle doll, appreciate this about their dolls and can safely say that they're trending at school for having their dolls.
I like the dolls my mom made because they look like us.
Tsepo, who's only 8, likes this about her Tswana doll.
She speaks the same language that I speak.
There are bigger plans for the Ntombenhle brand as parents and kids across the continent are loving and embracing the beautiful Kavesha's doll.
What we have done, what I currently have, I think the range is a bit versatile, if I may say, because I've catered for kids, but I've also catered for adults, where adults can put them in a frame to decorate. Kids can play with, but also going forward, what I've done is there is an edition coming. I will not say what and how now, but there is an edition that is coming. We'll also be celebrating other people, if I may call it. But I've also got also working on getting something for the boys, because people have been asking me, is there something for the boys? Are you going to do something? So I'm working on it. Sometime next year we'll be revealing some sort of superhero and in addition to Ntombenhle as well.
With the demand of the dolls growing across other countries, she has bigger plans of her own.
I've got bigger plans. It's just putting them into action, and because I'd like to manufacture locally. But when I do manufacture locally, it won't just be for Ntombenhle. Obviously, the brand will expand. There'll be other people that will want the dolls. Because I find people are also asking me if they can buy the dolls. I mean, it's my doll, I've designed it this way. So it sort of says, no, I can't sell you a doll that's undressed because it is my brand that is dressed. So hopefully going forward, I'll be able to manufacture for other people according to their specs.
She does admit that she didn't anticipate the whole doll business booming and having such high demands.
I think it will also be a nice gift for anybody, adults, children. You can order online. I am online. You can email me. I'm on social media, so Facebook and everywhere. You can inbox me, send me messages. It's not, delivery time is 24 to 48 hours, depending on where you are. If I can deliver, I deliver, because I always want to have that interaction, see who is buying. And I always get excited when I see, the parents that I meet, they become kids themselves, like in a candy store. And they get so excited when they see Ntombenhle. So it's exciting.
This is how she makes her clothing for the dolls.
Some of the clothing is manufactured locally. The Zulu dolls and the Ndebele dolls are also finished off locally. And with that, we then package at home as well.
As you can see, the Ntombenhle dolls are not skinny like Barbie dolls. Molemo shares her sentiments on why she chose to make them more curvy.
I believe we are not skinny people at all. I don't think anybody is skinny at all. So I wanted to sort of show that as African women, we're not really skinny. We are not skinny at all. We do have hips, we do have bums. And I also find, as we grow up, we actually do realize that Caucasian women are also not skinny. Skinny is just a new thing. We want to look a certain way because society shows skinny as being maybe pretty.
And this is also because beauty cannot be defined by anyone but the beholder.
When we return, we take your comments on Molemo's Ntombenhle dolls.
Mancosa, Southern Africa's leading distance learning institution. Accredited, affordable and accessible management education programs. Higher certificates, diplomas, undergraduate and postgraduate degrees. Register at Mancosa and be part of Southern Africa's leading private business school. Visit our website mancosa.co.za. Mancosa, management education reimagined.
On Trends, we take you down memory lane with Lionel Richie, who will be touring South Africa next year.
Just saying.
We pick up the best of movies to lead you to a joyous weekend full of action. South African Fashion Week was back with a bang, showing off new designs for 2016. Mikasa's Home Sweet Home album will keep you dancing this festive season. For more entertainment news, join your host Rufule Mula every Friday at 9 p.m.
Welcome back. You are still watching Bophelong on SABC News. So what is your take on the new movement of alternative dolls for different ethnic groups, specifically the black dolls? Here is what she said.
The new black Kavesha doll is what every kid and parent talks about. We took to the streets to hear what people think of a different race doll, since the doll market is predominantly white.
If I were myself going to purchase it, depends on how they look. If the black one doesn't look good, I won't get the black one. If the white one doesn't look good, I won't get the white one. Depends on how they look.
And I'm actually embracing the black is beautiful. Why buy a white doll when, she's a black child and she's my child and I'm black and embracing the black beauty, yeah.
I think there should be no difference because I grew up having black and white dolls, and going to a multiracial school, I did not really see color. So for me, it's this thing of she should actually know what her true identity is, and I wouldn't want to subject her to only a specific race in terms of toys, where she should know, the world is so much greater than just your skin color or where you come from.
We do live in a democracy. You can't be like, I want my child to have a black doll or rather an African doll because she's African, or it's whatever, man. Just get your child a doll. If they like the doll, it's fine. If they don't like it.
In as much as Mulemo agrees that we as South Africans are aware of our culture, she explains furthermore about the features of the dolls.
I think we are aware of our culture, and when people travel to South Africa, they are aware of some cultures, not all the cultures. People overseas tend to know more about Zulu or Ndebele because I think it's also because of the colors. The beads, the rebili, that it's bright. So, but we as South Africans are aware. We might not know of our different traditional attires, which I found that a lot of adults also didn't know what their attires more or less look like.
Some of our immediate plans are:
I would like to get into stores. So that's what I'm working towards. And next year, with the new stuff that I'm bringing in, that is where I'd like to start speaking to the toy stores and get them to stock the brand. Then everybody will then be able to access it, because right now it's just online, or not everybody is online. So I'd like to eventually get everybody.
Versatility is brought into the traditional attires, as it shows that you can dress the doll up or down, and also showcases modernized traditional clothes.
The Tswana doll that just came in, and the Tswana doll has got a completely different dress code from, if you had to compare it to these dolls. It's something new, it's very new to the brand, and that's where somebody else does it for us. So that particular style and manner of dressing has not been done with the original Ntombenhle doll, which what makes it very cool. It makes it a bit versatile, but makes it a bit different bring something else to the range as well, and start for new and bigger things that are also coming as well.
Although no one was aware of the inception of this big growing brand, Kagiso is very excited to grow with it as it is taking on new heights.
I didn't think it was going to go this big. When we got our first order in 1,000 dolls, I can't remember where they had to go. I was like, wow, there's a market for this now, which clearly means back then the market was not ready for a black doll per se. But now it surprised me. Yesterday a message came in, I checked the phone myself, and it was from South America. The other day it was just based in Austria. That was like, wow, you know, there is an actual need and a want out there in the market for these dolls, which excites me a lot.
The president of South Africa, Mr. Jacob Zuma, was also presented with a Zulu doll.
This particular one that I have in my hand right now has been given to the President of the Republic as a donation to the Music on Wheels that has been held in Pietermaritzburg. And so this will be donated to our president.
Molemo's story just goes to show how embracing our indigenous culture can help us win as a nation, not only with identity issues, but with race as well.
And that brings us to the end of today's show. Let's keep the conversation going on the following platforms displayed on the bottom of your screen. From us here on the show, it's a goodbye for now.